Good morning, everyone. Happy energy reading. I'm Terry. It's so great to see you. So we have a weekday energy reading today, right now, and that is what I'm here to give to you. So this reading will go from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Thursday for your weekday reading. Now, just remember that this is a reading for the collective. So that means some of this information may resonate with you, some may not. So just take what does, toss what doesn't. And if you'd like something more personal, more private, you're more than welcome to book a one-on-one reading with me directly through my site, terryhuberman.com. So when I checked in with Spirit, the first thing I got was it was a sensation and a feeling of loneliness. And I didn't like that very much. And I was trying to understand, is it my own personal loneliness or was it the collective loneliness? Now, here's what's interesting is like in order for there to be a collective, there first has to be an individual, right? So this happens on an individual level first, and then it happens on a collective level. And it's not so much loneliness this week as it is unintentional independence. Yes, unintentional independence. So to me, what that means is though we may be experiencing the feeling of loneliness, right? And from there, the emotion of maybe rejection, it doesn't necessarily mean we're being rejected. It doesn't, but there is a sense of loneliness through that unintentional independence. And the unintentional independence is about, it's interesting. It's about taking care of oneself. So it's more like self-care first, where the response from someone else feels as if they're being abandoned or they're being rejected. And I know that's a bit confusing, so I need to try and make this a little bit more clear to you. For example, you may feel this week a sense of loneliness due to what you're perceiving or what you're feeling, or what may actually be happening is someone not being able to give to you either your needs, their attention, their time, because they're taking care of themselves. You can see that that's an unintentional, like I'm not meaning to hurt you by taking care of myself first. And so that might cause you some loneliness. So it's not necessarily rejection. It is people sort of learning how to take care of themselves, but in the person it's being received by, their response is, oh, they must be rejecting me. They must be wanting to leave me or abandon me, or et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very interesting feeling, this feeling of loneliness. So it feels big. So there's some potential tears this weekend or this week. And also I feel like there comes from that confusion and miscommunication. So it's also really important to be super, super communicative as well. So for example, let's say I'm doing work on myself, right? I don't want to completely pull away from you without giving you a heads up what's going on, right? So I could say something to you like, hey, I'm super busy right now working on this project. I think I'm out of pocket. I'm out of communication today, this week, or whatever. So if you don't hear from me, everything's okay. I am just, doing some shit, right? I mean, that's super, super high communication, right? Or if you're already in the process, let's say I'm the one that's upset or feeling lonely because you've already done something, right? I reach out to you and just say, hey, I miss you. What's going on? Is everything okay? And then your response to me would be something like, I'm just in it right now. I'm not feeling good. I'm not blah, blah, or I'm super busy. Let me get back to you. Nothing's wrong. Everything's okay. I'm just so consumed with myself right now. You see, that's really good, clear communication. So in addition to there being some lonely factor from unintentional independence, a way to be able to receive and better deal or manage or even regulate your loneliness or the sadness that you might feel is by having communication. So don't be afraid to ask, but also give someone a chance to have their moment as well. Let them take care of themselves as well. And if you're the one pulling away for whatever reason, it'd be really, really kind and compassionate of you to actually say, hey, I've got this going on. I'm going to be out of pocket, or I'm just not going to be able to chat right now, or whatever. That clear communication will help ease and lessen that lonely factor. So it can be a bit of a roller coaster this week. There could be miscommunications if there's not communication. You understand? So let there be communication so that there's no interpretation of miscommunication, because I do feel like there's potential and possibility of squabbles or fights with people. And I don't want to say breakups of relationships, or do I want to say breakups of relationships? But I just want to say that there can be separations that can happen, not just emotionally, but, communicatively if it's not done properly. So come online, be a lot more aware of maybe how you are communicating with somebody, because everybody on some level is going to feel that lonely factor this week. It's something, it's unfortunate, but that to me, this is what I'm predicting. This is what I feel when I tap into the energy, and this is what I'm being told by spirit. So we can combat that though by communication, okay? Let me pick some cards here and see what kind of implementation tools, other than maybe communication, or what else, how else we can go about navigating our way through this week. I'm actually going to pick 4 cards. I'm called to pick 4 cards today, not one. I just go day by day, y'all. So let's see what's happening. Oh no, I'm putting decks together. No bueno. Terry, come on. There you go. Good girl. Okay. One more, and then we'll go ahead and do a reveal. Whoop, this guy. Okay, so here we go. We have the Ace of Hearts. Yes, yes. We have El Cotoro, Surrender and Release, and Chariot. Okay, so we have Chariot, Surrender and Release, El Cotoro, and Ace of Hearts. Yes, so this is just kind of capitalizing on what I just said energetically. The best way, really, if you can't communicate, you're not a good communicator, you have a hard time communicating, or you don't want to be vulnerable communicating, which to me is a real shame if you're in a relationship with someone. Feel your loneliness, but also let it go. Like, don't really dwell into it. Don't put the passion and the fire into becoming angry about the fact that you're not hearing from someone, or your perspective or your perception might be that they're rejecting you. As much and as uncomfortable as this week can be emotionally, it's also what feels like the beginnings of a really great outcome of connection. So through this sadness and through the communication comes really strong new communication. And perhaps if you are finessed and if you navigate your way through this week, through your loneliness with a partner, with just somebody, anybody else, the connection that comes from it is going to be intense and beautiful and trusting and giving you a sense of safety. Even though you may not be feeling good, that connection can rescue you. So it is about surrendering and letting go and leaning into the discomfort of this, of the rejection, or what you're perceiving as rejection, of this unintended or unintentional independence. people are working on themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you come across you're feeling or you're taking it personal, let me just put it like that. If you're just taking it personal that someone else isn't giving you the time and attention that you're used to because they're taking care of their needs, surrender and release into that. Communicate about it, and this brings a really stronger sense of connection. So, to me, this is all good. It just hurts a bit. The heart might be a little tender this week. All right, you guys, what am I always saying to you? Stay connected. Stay connected to your friends and family. Stay connected to yourself. And of course, you can stay connected to me. You can check me out on Patreon, where I've got a community of like-minded people. So if you want connection with like-minded folks, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/TerryHuberman, where I have exclusive content. There are a monthly live group readings, group healings, and of course, workshops. So if that's something that you would really like to be part of, just so you're not feeling so lonely, I invite you to join my Patreon community. And of course, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one through a reading or even just longer term support so that you can thrive in a life of freedom, joy, and security, you can check me out at TerryHuberman.com, and I'll see ya on the flip side.